Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we actually ended up seeing a brand new update go live in Warzone in Modern Warfare 3 that ends up featuring a handful of new updates across multiplayer and Warzone, including a pretty significant meta update as well to at least one specific top tier meta weapon. And so today we're going through all the various patch notes for this. Starting first here, as you can see, we've got our June 4th update, and do keep in mind this is just more of like a hotfix update. This is not like a major title update or anything like that. So everyone, whenever you go to jump onto your game next, you're probably going to get the whole update requires restart screen. You go through that cycle, you'll be good to go, but you shouldn't have to download anything major for this one. No copying or anything like that. It'll just be automatically applied whenever you go to jump onto the game next. But as we do dive into all the various patch notes here, if you enjoy the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It's always really appreciated, and it does really help grow the channel. And if you're new here or you simply have not subscribed yet, every single day I got you covered with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, everything like that is here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. But first up here, global update to the COD HQ. Prompt to restart the game after changing your Activision ID now functions as expected. So I guess there was some issue where if you had to change your name, the game wouldn't properly restart and like cycle that through and update it. So if you were one of the people in that very niche circumstance, that's now updated, so that's a thing. For multiplayer specific issues here, they say for bug fixes, while the looping kill streaks modifier is active in season 4, the earn progress on the HUD widget will now reappear after earning the highest kill streak. So it's just easier to follow where exactly you are on your loop streak. If you are a couple of hundred score away from your next UAV, or if you're a couple of kills away from your next turret, or whatever the case might be there, just making it easier to interpret where exactly you are on your larger streak if you end up cycling through. They corrected the placeholder images in the kill streaks and equipment tabs of the armory unlocks menu, so there just won't be random white squares or something going on there. It's easier to see what you're actually unlocking. Addressed an exploit allowing custom mods to be saved with multiple attachments equipped to a single category. Interesting. I haven't seen this one, but perhaps there was some kind of cheese going on with like more 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 attachment weapons. That was obviously a bug last season with some of the redacted blueprints, but must have been a different exploit that was going on there. But that's now fully fixed, so you won't be able to cheese that any longer. Weekly challenge menus now display the correct season 3 camo name. So I don't think it was supposed to be Molten Obsidian, since that's the new prestige camo. It was supposed to just be one of the base ones there. So they've now gone through and changed the name for the DNA bomb camo that obviously we won't even be able to unlock until all the way in week 8. They also say Tokyo map now displays the correct name in the combat record. So if you're looking at your stats there won't be any confusion. For progression, the critical countdown DNA samples will no longer appear in private matches. So you could actually have gone into private matches and gotten a ton of challenge progress done with that. I'm sure some players exploited that, but no longer will you be able to. So that's now completely patched. On a high rise, they fixed an issue causing environmental explosives to occur in CDL and ranked play mode. So with the barrels and everything and all the canisters and oil tanks blowing up and exploding there, shouldn't be happening where it's not supposed to anymore. For modes in Escort, joining a match in progress will no longer display an inaccurate timer. And then in Infected, identity theft finishing move now works as expected on infected team members. So that's actually pretty cool. If you have copy or dupe from the black cell and you do a finishing move on an infected, you can actually turn into an infected and use that pretty strategically. That's actually a really cool feature that I won't lie. Inaccurate scores are no longer displayed when a match ends with a few players. They also fixed an issue causing matches to disconnect with the connection timed out error. And with that, Infected has now returned to the quick play filter and private matches. So obviously it was out of the rotation and out of the game for like a week or like 10 days or something, because every match would get connection timed out and you just couldn't play Infected whatsoever. So that definitely is nice to see that that's now back and fixed. When in the chamber, they fixed an issue causing poor performance during the kill cam. Now for weapon updates, for multiplayer, the Super E46, the Terminal V and the Atoll Z4 suppressed barrel attachments now hide operator position from the minimap as intended, so those weren't actually keeping you off the radar. That's interesting. Also for launchers on the RGL-80, decrease the camera shake dealt to victims upon explosive damage by 60%, so that camera shake's not going to be nearly as extreme as it was before. For kill streaks, Cluster Mine fixed an issue preventing kills from contributing to kill streak earn progress while the streaks earn streaks modifier is active. That was the word streaks a whole lot. DNA bomb, players using score streaks can now earn a DNA bomb at 25 kills as expected. So if you're using score streaks or kill streaks now, if you get a 25 gun streak, you'll be able to get that DNA bomb and call that in and wipe the other team. For zombies updates, fix an issue preventing the strike team operator customization after recruitment. And for gameplay updates, Sergeant Bray Companion will no longer shoot the server during a ground station contract. DNA samples for the critical countdown event timer can be collected in Dark Ether rifts. They also address an exploit bypassing stash size limits involving the Elder Sigils. Now let's jump over to the Warzone patch notes. So our Tuesday, June 4th update here for Warzone rewards. Under the mode challenges, the plunder challenge has been changed to complete 20 plunder games. So before, if you were going for these camos, it was like deposit 500,000 cash in plunder 20 times. That was not tracking at all. So that challenge was completely broken and not working. So they just completely changed it. Now you have to go through and play 20 plunder games. And I do believe this means you have to go through and actually see that final screen with the victory. So that's a pretty time consuming challenge. 20 matches of plunder is definitely going to take a decent while to go through and actually progress and ultimately complete. So definitely get started on that for those season 4 reward camos if you're interested in going for those. For gameplay updates, perk packs can now drop from medical cabinets. That's kind of cool. So it just makes it a little bit easier to potentially get some perk pack drops. Then also precision airstrikes have been reverted back to their previous functionality prior to season 4. So I'm not sure what exactly they changed with season 4 with those in specific, at least off the top of my head, but whatever it was, they're now back to where they were in like season 3.5. Then we get a weapons update here, and man oh man is it a big one. So the DG58, it's the lone weapon that was updated, but this is a huge meta nerf. So the minimum damage was decreased to 22, down from 27. This is basically a giant warning sign, flashing everything, sirens and all. Stop using the DG58. This is a huge nerf. It is not going to be worth using this thing. Switch over to the Holger, as I talked about a few days back. That's the much better option now for long-range LMGs. The max damage range was also decreased a ton, so its first damage range isn't even viable anymore. There's also some new damage ranges that have been added in. Near to mid damage set to 27 at 30 meters. Mid damage set at 25 at 45 meters. So yeah, that is a serious nerf to the DG58. The DG58 was a bit too dominant at range, so we've introduced a gradual damage fall off, which keeps it competitive at those close to mid encounters, but falls off slightly as you approach those long range fights. Like I said, stop using the DG, switch over to the Holger, switch over to some other options that we've covered previously. We also got a couple of bug fixes. They fixed an issue causing the bomb drone UI to remain on the player's screen, then also an issue preventing controller players from opening the manage party function when their squad is full. Also on top of that, this wasn't in the patch notes, but this was updated yesterday evening. The thermobaric grenade has been disabled across all public modes. So initially they disabled the damage that the fire was dealing, the fiery goo or whatever they referred to it as. They disabled that damage, but now because of thermobaric spam, they've completely disabled this, and I imagine that in a future update they're going to rework how the thermobaric does damage and how strong it is, and then they'll re-add it into the game. So currently, if you have this selected on any of your class setups, it's just going to default to a frag grenade instead. So definitely be sure to update all your loadouts and change out the thermobaric grenade so you don't have that on there anymore, since that's no longer an option to use until it is properly balanced. But all that being said, that's everything that ended up changing in these surprise patch notes today. That's going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out to guarantee you are always up to date with all things going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.